Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Look Good, Smell Good Fragrance Reviews. Today, I have a battle between a original OG within the fragrance industry, none other than Mancera's Cedrat Boise Eau de Parfum. What a beautiful fragrance, going up against its newly released flanker, none other than this right over here, Intense Cedrat Boise. So yeah, let's hit that intro. Let's get to it. If you're interested in any of these fragrances mentioned in this review, please hit me up on Seduction.co.uk. We have great fragrance samples at great prices. So if you don't want to splash out the big bucks for a blind buy, do check me out on Seduction.co.uk. Please hit that subscribe button, push the notification bell, leave a thumbs up. It helps the channel quite a lot. Let's get to it. And we're back. Let's start first things off with presentation. Presentation, both of the boxes are going to be the exact same. You get the same design box. Most of you familiar with Mancera fragrances, and you get the pouch in it. That's the same. As for the bottle design, again, bottle design is exactly the same as you get with all Mancera fragrances. They all look the same. However, the only one noticeable difference is that the newer batches of Mancera fragrances, they are coming with a magnetic cap. Those of you who own the older bottles, it was a screw-off cap. So yeah, it's a pretty decent cap. I like it. It's like the Dior. Sometimes it can just snap out, but it is able to hold it in place. However, it can sometimes pop out. So be careful. That's on the new design. But one of the greatest things about this that Mancera has improved is the atomizer distribution. So the new atomizers on the new bottles is brilliant. I really like it. Got good spray selection, and it's like the Dior fragrances. So if you ever own the Dior Sauvage lines, the sprayers on those are good, and on the newer bottles with the magnetic caps, it's very good atomizer. So yeah, overall presentation is good, just like it always is. Let's move over to what it smells like. Let's start things off with Cedrat Boise, the original Eau de Parfum. Now this, ladies and gents, is well known within the fragrance community and well loved within the fragrance community. If you don't own it, I suggest you buy it. You're going to love it. The initial opening of this, and I've got some test strips with the dry down. The initial opening of Cedrat Boise is absolutely beautiful. This opens up with lemon, citrus fruits, citrus notes, lemon, blackcurrant, a couple of other citrus notes. It's got a sharp, pleasant, beautiful, zesty vibe to it. As it dies down, it comes a little bit sweeter and it has some musky undertones. A lot of people compared this to Creed Aventus. However, in my opinion, I would say it smells nothing like Creed Aventus, but for the most part, for what it is, it's a damn good fragrance. Cedrat Boise Eau de Parfum, beautiful, bright, summertime fragrance, zestiness. A lot of people that smell this from you are gonna like it. Let's now move over to the new player at hand, which is none other than Cedrat Boise Intense. Now this, ladies and gents, as soon as you spray it, the initial opening, you're going to get similar hints of the original DNA. It's there, the original DNA is there. However, Cedrat Boise Intense opens up a lot more hotter, darker, richer, and most importantly, spicier. So this is really spicy, not too spicy, but you can smell it. That it's not got that sharp, pungent zestiness. It is there, the DNA is there. However, it's just a lot more spicier. And as it dries down, it becomes more woodier. The reason for that is the newer notes that Mancera Parfums have put in Intense Cedrat Boise. The new addition notes you're going to get is Cambodian oud, white sandalwood, and white musk. And those three notes there, they just bring this scent out to be a lot more woodier, stronger, darker, richer. Okay, let's talk about performance now. Before we talk about the performance of the Cedrat Boise, one thing needs to be mentioned about the Eau de Parfum, the original version. There's some people online on Fragcom and different blogs and stuff had said that their very first batches of Cedrat Boise, the original, had beast mode performance. Ever since the new formulations came out, apparently these new formulations don't live up to the performance that it used to. Now, I myself got into fragrance not quite long ago, so I don't have the original batch, or if I know if it even has ever been reformulated, I don't know. But some people have claimed that it has been reformulated. I'm just going to go with the performance issues that I have on the original Cedrat Boise, which could be the newer reformulated versions. So Cedrat Boise, the original, I get a couple of hours I would say a couple of hours performing decently on me. The first hour is where you're going to get the best projection, and that's what I got with this fragrance. As soon as I sprayed it and I oversprayed myself, it's just got that really nice pungent smell to it that a lot of people, when they smell it, it gets right up their nose in a good way and they like it. So within the first hour, hour and a half, I pulled the most compliments with this fragrance. When it gets to the second or third hour mark, it does start to die down. It does become a skin scent. It fades out, not very quickly, but in a fairly decent amount of time, it does fade down and only I can smell it. But throughout the day, summertime in the summer heat, this performs not so bad. I get about 5 to 6 hours total time of longevity, and for me, it's good. So for all you people who have the old reformulations, you might get better performance. However, the new reformulations or the newly reformulated Cedrat Boise, it's got decent performance. I'm not going to complain. You can overspray this juice. It's not going to hurt you or anybody else. But performance, I would give the rating on Cedrat Boise a good performer. It's a good performer, not bad. As for Intense Cedrat Boise, now this has greatly improved on performance. However, there's one caveat, and it's just on the longevity. When I sprayed this on the Intense Cedrat Boise, I just didn't feel like it was jumping off my skin the way that I wanted to. It would leave an intimate scent cloud, and it will be there, and you could smell it coming off you the whole day. However, I just never felt like it screamed out or it projected far away. So it left a good sillage bubble around me and a good scent bubble around me, but I just never felt like I was being recognized while wearing this fragrance, even though it's intense. So it's intense in its longevity. It stayed on my clothes for a good maybe 8 to 10 hours, and I could smell it around me throughout the whole day. It was there. If other people picked it up when I walked past them, maybe they did, but I never got one compliment from wearing the intense version. And that happens sometimes, so don't take that as a negative viewpoint. It just happens sometimes. I pulled a hell of a lot more compliments with the original Cedrat Boise. As for Intense Cedrat Boise, I wore it for a couple of days, but I just didn't get any compliments. It is what it is. Intensity has improved, however, but just in the longevity factor. Projection is there. It's not an intimate scent. Within the first hour, it does project fairly good, but it does leave a decent sillage bubble around you, and it stays there for close to 8 to 10 hours. So intensity on the Cedrat Boise Intense is good. So intensity has improved and performance has improved, which I'm really happy about. Let's go over to the overall final take on, are these fragrances redundant, and which one would I pick and which one do I recommend. Quickly move over to my overall opinion on these two beautiful fragrances, Cedrat Boise versus Cedrat Boise Intense. Which one would I pick? This is going to be subjective. I personally would pick Cedrat Boise, the original, even though it doesn't have good performance and even though the Intense outbeats it in its performance. The reason being why, that zesty, zingy, pungent vibe, I really like it, and it's gotten me a hell of a lot of compliments, gotten me recognized quite a lot, and every time I wear this, everybody likes it. As for the Intense version, it's there, it's fine, it does a good job. However, it just never pulled me that many compliments, and it does get a little bit more spicier, darker, woodier, and that zestiness, that pungentness is just not there. So for me personally, which one would I recommend? I'm going to go with the Cedrat Boise. However, if you've owned Cedrat Boise in the past, you want to try something new, you want to try something different, go check out Intense Cedrat Boise. It is fairly good. It's just a lot more woodier and spicier. So overall, both great fragrances. I'm absolutely happy with what Mancera did with their flanker. It lived up to his name, but between the two, I'm still going to go with Cedrat Boise, the original. And that's my full review on these two beautiful fragrances from the house of Mancera, as mentioned at the start. If you're interested in any of these, do hit me up on scentseduction.co.uk. Thank you very much for checking out this review. Please do hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. See you on the next one. Thank you.